Well, so it happened to me again. If you watched the last stream that I did, or back on Tuesday or Monday when we did the semi-finals for the Amateur Open League, that time it was Streamlabs' fault. This time it was my fault. So, welcome everybody for my second introduction to the stream. This is the LPL's final open qualifiers. It will be the last chance for all of these teams to try and make a name in the scene and get themselves up the ladders and play for those closed qualifiers and make their way into the championship series where you can push yourself in to be one of the top teams in OCE to go represent in the big NA tournament. So let's talk about a bit of these teams. Fish Herpes are relatively new. I couldn't find any information whatsoever on the scene. I checked their player profiles, I checked some stat sites. These players haven't been able to be seen in the competitive scene, at least that's been tracked in the Oceanic region. On the other side of the fence, you have Antic Esports. They're a fresh team to form here in the Oceanic region. I believe they formed within the last week or two, or at least got picked up and formed within the last team. They previously played in the Valorant Oceanic Tournament 2, Valorant Oceanic Tournament 3 Open Qualifiers 1. They played under, a lot of these players played under the name Team Flexing, and they got knocked out in the round of 32. They went down 0-2, unfortunately, and well, now they're under a new name and see how well they've done. The team comprises of players from either different teams or outside of different genres of games. I mean, we got the captain, Wildfire, has been played under Kingsman 5, which is an evolution team, if you follow that, and also 1620 Kings. We got Scythe at CSGO, PUBG from One Tap. A lot of these backgrounds are very varied, so I wonder what they can bring to the table. So it's going to be an interesting match to see how these teams kind of bring together. We have Dark Horse, no information known, how they fare in the scene of Fish Herpes. It's going to be weird saying that name all night. And Antic Esports, who are looking to solidify themselves into the scene and start making a name and working their way through the tournaments. So, I'm still seeing people can't hear me in chat. Hopefully that picks up. It's a 3-minute delay. Should be fixed, friends. So yeah, once again, sorry about that. It's somewhat happening to me often recently. I thought I even checked it today, but I guess I didn't. But I'm glad to have you all here. Thank you for those that have stuck out my terrible blunder, and also for those that have followed me on Twitch. I do try and bring a lot of the amateur and open league stuff from LPL to light. I do enjoy casting those tournaments. I will be looking at possibly doing some evolution the next season that comes up. But yeah, so I do bring up a lot of that casting and hopefully kickstarting a little bit of OCE's scene while myself getting a little bit of experience in commentating. So now I'm just padding while we wait for the teams to get sorted. It seems like they're already in the lobby. They're getting prepared at the moment. Oh no, Wildfire, don't you say you can't hear me. I'm watching you, Wildfire. Also, focus on the game, damn it. But no, thank you all for joining. Our first map of tonight will not be Breeze, as that got banned first. Fish Herpes, Antic took out Breeze, which I'm a little sad of. I love myself a little bit of Breeze. I love those new maps. Unfortunately, most teams do not love new. They don't love that fresh car smell. They prefer the good old worn-in leather of your parents' beaten down Holden. And sticking with that. So yeah, Breeze got banned out, Icebox went down shortly after, and then we got the final picks of Bind from Antic, and then we got Split from Fish Herpes. So that'll be our first two maps, and then we'll be finishing on Haven if we do need to go to that third and final map tonight. So, did someone just call me Ed Sheeran? Wow. I'll take it. So let's hope these teams are ready. There's a lot of chat going on at the moment, but there's no readying up of the server. Let's just have a look. I'm just reading the chat. How are we coming along, teams? So Sorry about that. Once again, we're at the mercy of OCE. This the region that takes forever to start their matches. And it's not just these guys. It happens last open qualifiers, the qualifiers before that. It's kind of just the standard in the OCE region. Whereas you look at some other regions, we're looking at SEA, they start on time, almost pinpoint. It's wonderful. Or if you start looking at the tier 1 scene, then they're kind of forced to start online, otherwise they get a good talking to from some of the admins. So whew, look at that, look where we go. I'm honestly out of content. I don't know what too much else to say. Usually we've started within the first 7 to 8 minutes of me starting blabbering, but this time it hasn't happened. Bind. I wish I had some more stats. Actually, speaking of stats, I do have more stats for you. If you care for them. It doesn't matter if you do. You're going to have to put up with it anyway because you're listening to me. So in the Oceania region, let's have a look at our last 6 months of stats for Bind. So on Bind, we have a 51% win rate on defense. So it is a more of a defender side oriented map. Not as heavily favored as some others out there. We're talking about Split. Bind's also... Ascent, surprisingly, is a little bit more favored for defense here in the Oceanic region these days, but I don't think we'll be seeing Ascent tonight. Whereas we look over, if we have a little look at our agents picked, I mean, the top agents always in the OCE region, and pretty much any region, will always be your Jets. Jets always top of the scoreboard. Sova is very shortly picked after that. Ooh, actually, we see Jet has fallen off quite heavily. So I'm looking at the statistics at the moment. Jet, about a month ago, was at a 93% pick rate. Jet's only at a 75% pick rate these days, which is a little surprising to me. She's fallen quite sharply. I think that could be partially due with the cipher change, where she doesn't break the tripwires when she dashes through anymore, and kind of the buffing of some of the other characters, and the change of economy, especially now that you're kind of forced to buy a lot of that utility. Jet's a little bit more expensive to deal with, and I think we're starting to see the rise of your Phoenixes come back into the meta, which I love because I always enjoy a good Phoenix, and your Rainers, which are always pretty strong, but starting to see a little bit more of an uptick in those. It'll be interesting to see how both these teams go. Looks like our teams are ready, so I can stop padding content for you, but it will be interesting to see what we go. Where we see some unorthodox picks. We are in the Valorant Oceanic Tournament round of 64. This is where teams just go, you know what, let's just throw whatever we have at the opposition, try unusual strategies. Could be Yoro. Here on Bind is like one of the only chances we will see potentially a Brimstone. I'm always a Brimstone fan, even if people do not like Brimstone. I will always like Brimstone. And let's jump over the game and let's have a look at what we got going on. Ooh, whoa, that's not supposed to happen. Why is that happening? Get out of there. That was weird. I apologize about that. So, we are now jumping into game. Thank you all for waiting. It has been a little bit of an extended wait of that 10 minutes, but now we are into it. We have our teams already starting to shadow ban and pick some of these whoa, whoa, whoa. We have ourselves... Oh, no, they've changed sides on me. Okay, I'm just going to change the overlays. I apologize. The overlays have been thrown out here. Let's get this up correctly for you all. 1 and 2. Let's get these names across. There we go. The overlays are updated. And let's get talking and discussing about some of these picks. So, we do see a Yoro and a KO. Ooh. I forgot KO is now legal in this tournament. I'm a little bit surprised about that. I have not seen a KO in competitive play yet. So I am deeply surprised. And we got a Yoro. I mean, Fish Herpes are throwing out all stocks here. A very unusual unusual and unorthodox. I guess that's the same thing. Team composition there. They got the Sage, which is kind of your expected, but probably not picked up as much on Bind anymore. Still be good for that A site take when on offense, and being able to lock down a lot of the choke points, which it looks like she'll be picking up the B site. Whereas you look over the Antic Esports, you're seeing more of your standard lineup. You've got a Viper that now flexes in for those Omens. Brim is now going to be pulled on in as well, which is kind of what you expect on a Bind as one of your lead smokers if you do require that smoking position. Then you've got the Reyna, one of your flex duelists. We don't see a Jet, as we were talking about, kind of falling off the scene just a little bit. And the Sky, I love myself Sky. Sky is quite utility-wise. Flexes in for the Sova quite often because the ability to see where the opponents are coming at you, and also always good for a little flash here or there. And now we've got the initiation coming onto the A site as they're now preparing. Starting to look down the site, lots of utility starting to be used, and they've completely blocked off the capability and visibility onto that site. As now that wall's coming out, Reyna runs on in but gets taken out by Warpax, who's now on a rampage. Unknown Beast gets shot from behind. Last one up Ilya, and that's a completely flawless round for Antic Esports there. Quite well done there. Once the utility went down, they executed with hard and fast momentum, and it just looked like Fish Herpes couldn't keep up there. So, Antic Esports will be taking the first round. Shrimp on the Euro is going to be picking up a Marshall. Going to be potentially catching their opponents off guard here, especially if they decide to initiate against this A site. So, we don't usually see Euro in play, because a few of the things with Euro is it's hard. I mean, he does have a flash. His capability to rotate between sites is phenomenal, especially on long rotation maps. But his decoy isn't as useful as most people would like it to be. Sure, it gives a little bit of a fake audio cue, but sometimes that's just not enough, especially if there's no visual to go along with it. And now we've got that initiation coming on site once again. Reyna's looking to coming out. Unknown Beast is going to fall down to the paint shells that block him off on the site. A Shrimp falls underneath the utility. Warpaxy, there's just an absolute domination here against Fish Herpes. It's the one last one left. Ilya again will start to fall down. So expected pressure, it was an eco round coming up for Fish Herpes. Now they'll be starting to pick up, and this is where they need to fight back against Antic Esports. They need to try and make themselves a little bit of a stand in the ground. Otherwise, they're going to be falling behind another round, and their economy is going to be continue to be hurt and destroyed underneath the pressure of Antic Esports. No, don't say I still have beats going. No, I don't. Okay. So a little message in the chat there got me scared that I still have my music going. The way I'm going, I wouldn't have put it past it. This time, Antic Esports looks like they're going to be hitting the B site. Fish Herpes have prepared over the A site with a 4-man, but they're not going to be able to hit. They're going to start hearing the utility, and Ilya's going to be calling for that rotation to come help it out. The wall's now down. He's got a very high position, but unfortunately, he peeks away at the inopportune moment. He's going to be caught out, and KO tries to get the flash out. It's going to be caught underneath the utility and stuck at stream. Now the spam through the wall as they're just trying to lock them in place. Utility's going down. You've got Wildfire on that back rotation. Keep an eye on any lurkers that come through. Great flash coming out, but there's just too many on site. No one else really pushed in along with the flash, allowing Antic Esports to deal with that push quite handedly. Now, Unknown Beast. Once again, it seems to be the story for Fish Herpes. They look away at the inopportune minds, and Antic Esports, with their constant aggression, will peek through and find the kill time after time. So we move into round 4. Very quick round 4. We've now suddenly approached out of nowhere. I am missing a single graphic, which quickly throw on. Just a small graphic. As we come into round 4, Antic Esports are looking fine. They've got themselves all the kills. They've only lost 1 over 3 matches. So it's a little unfortunate there. Hopefully we can see Fish Herpes be able to pick up pace a little bit, try and put their foot in the ground, and don't let Antic Esports take too much. And that's how you started off with Yo taking a very great early. And Unknown Beast here, he's hiding in the corner, but oh no! The Reyna flash is going to end up catching him. He wanted to wait. He wanted to wait for that push, but it didn't work out as well as you'd like. They still managed to capitalize one. It's now 2 versus 3. This is the best chance Fish Herpes have had all match. and they're looking quite well. Their players are starting to get a little bit fired up. Unfortunately, Touch My Moose is going to walk around into the firing line of Six-Pack there and going to clean him up, leaving Shrimp all alone. He's going to pop around this corner and go straight on down. Not too much you can do there when you're pretty much collapsed upon in all different directions. You weren't getting out of there alive. It was just hopefully trying to take someone down with you. It won't be the case as we move into round 5. So from what I've heard, we've got I believe Fish Herpes, they're made up from players from silver through to gold, where the Antic Esports players got a little bit more time in the scene, as I mentioned, played along under different team names, including Team Flex in the previous tournament, so they've got a lot more experience that their ranks range up to Immortals. Unknown Beast, getting a little bit aggressive here. That Vandal's going to be causing those bullet trails and getting them prepared. You got that Flash. Sky's ready. Ooh, Flash instantly goes down as Yoru goes behind, but he's going to get shot down. Sky's still taking a few shots. Unknown Beast able to capitalize on his smoke placement. Doing quite well, but Ilya's playing a little bit of a sneaky, unusual position here up in Hookah, hoping that he'll be able to catch his opponents off guard. Six-Pack's going to be hearing that noise, takes a few shots and does clean up Ilya. Started to look a little bit disastrous for him, and the very quick rotation comes out from Fish Herpes. They're going to keep Unknown Beast here just a little while longer, just in case. Touch My Noose gets the flash out, but he's not there to capitalize on it. He can't find the kill. Sneaky runs onto the site, but unfortunately, no utility was used and no one there to support. And the rest of Fish Herpes will fall. We move into round 6, and the economy is kind of unbelievable at the moment. It's quite believable for Antic Esports. They are flourishing. Their finances are in good order, and they could probably retire in early life with the way they're going. Fish Herpes, on the other hand, are kind of in that rut where you're stuck between buy rounds and you're stuck between getting that finance to be able to pick up each round, and it looks like Shrimp's decided he's going to play this one out and get that full weaponry as OMEZ, my apologies, you're going to hate me for the way I pronounce your name, is going to be able to capitalize on that first kill, as now Wildfire is going to be creating that lockdown. He knows one's back inside, he can't find the shots, all the banging through the wall. He does know that rotation's on, and there's heavy rotation coming from Fish Herpes as they're going back to around this B side, where there is 2 people waiting from Six-Pack and Warpaxi. Unknown Beast has decided he's going to rotate, leaving the site free for Antic Esports. Warpaxi still creating a lot of noise and distraction here at B, but there's no initiation onto site. And they decide they're going to run away. Hopefully Ilya heard that audio and is going to give that to the rest of the team, allowing Fish Herpes to play a little bit more information as the orbital laser goes down on the lamps, and Unknown Beast is trying to fight for his life up at top. But he's taking so much damage, he's going to have to retreat there. Losing another angle to be able to hold on to this point. As the spike is down, hard retakes coming, there's no incendiary grenade, so they're going to be looking at playing up deep. They're not going to be going for a backside, you know, with those utility players. And Six-Pack's going to get one, going to leave one left, which is Shrimp, to have to deal with this attack onto this A site. He heard the jump up. Is he going to find the kill? He does. Beautiful flick shot there. He's only going to have to pick up the kill. Picks up the Phantom, but he will go down to the double lineup there, coming from Six-Pack and OMEZ G. Now we move on to round number 7. Shrimp has that Marshal again. We saw him pick up that weapon last round. It's going to be these unfortunate downturn. He won't be able to pick up a weapon here. But with the way it's kind of going, his fellow teammates may secure him a weapon by their downfall, and he'll be able to pick that up. If he can get some good Marshal shots off and catch his opponents off guard, he might be able to get some extra weaponry that he won't have to scrounge from his teammates. Earlier there, unable to find first shot kill there. It looked like there was a wide swing and wasn't able to get the first few shots to be able to deal with that. Touch My Noose is going to get the opening frag here for Fish Herpes, and this is exactly what they need. And Unknown Beast picks up and kills the lurker. This could be the start that Fish Herpes need to start getting a little bit of momentum and start feeling this game a bit. Touch My Noose is going to get Ooh, he's got a flashbang himself, which is not quite what you want to do. And Unknown Beast, he needs to cancel, but he does get the information that there is at least one down long. Unsure if he got that second bit of information, but it's knowledge they're going to use to start rotating. And Touch My Nose, he's starting to get a few kills with a great Stinkweed. Going to be able to find that final one. This leaves Warpaxi left. Gonna be the double peak and a beautiful kill there. Fourth round, Fish Herpes picks up their first round, and it's a decisive round, able to get that clean sweep of Antic Esports there. And it didn't look like Antic Esports did anything terribly out of the unordinary. They did try and push, they had a little split up, but then once they started taking their 1v1s, it looked like Fish Herpes had the players there to either double peek or able to return fire while one of them safely returned out and was able to kill up Antic Esports. So, this could be one of many rounds now coming up for Fish Herpes here. As up against Antic Esports, well, they're gonna start feeling, okay, let's just maybe pick this up a notch. After you take one round, we may not let you take a few more. There's making a little bit of space down here. He's gonna almost get his utility disabled there. And the push comes in on the side. Wildfire opens up with a great initial frag into cover. He's gonna get flash, but the flash counter flash is there to help him get into lamps. But they don't decide to use it as of yet. As Wildfire now steps up to the plant, he's going to throw that down. He's gonna get peeked, but then they're gonna shoot him. He's got the protection of Omez. Ilya might not check this corner and goes down to a sneaky peek. Touchminders cannot deal with the amount of overwhelming presence of Antic Esports still on this A site. So as I said, Antic Esports, they decided to pick up the pressure a little bit. And Shrimp, he's loving his sniper rifle. He's going to be picking up that operator. But this time he will be in buy with the rest of his team, so it won't cost him won't be too much of a detriment going around this route. And ooh, Stinky's going to be getting a judge. Love to see himself some judge actions. Looks like Stinkwee is going to be prepared for that. I might just stick with Stink. It's going to be a little bit easier for me to pronounce without messing up everything. Because if it's Stink WY, well, that's even more difficult for me to know. As that wall goes up early, it's going to be starting to lock them in place, and the entire team of Fish Herpes is going to be looking at dealing with its A site. So it could be a 5v5. This isn't going to be any advantage in favor. Ooh. Warpaxi gets the first kill. They might not suspect there's still one in here, and does get the shot, unfortunately. He can't pick up that kill with the judge. Ilya's going to be playing this close corner. It doesn't get checked. He's going to pick up one. He can't pick the second one up, leaving Shrimp and Touch My Noose, who's now flashed, has been dealt with from all different directions. The showstopper comes up and it finishes the kill of Touch My Noose, and he picks up the fourth. As simple as that for Warpaxi. And that is what you want from your leading fragger, from your sentinel. Omez G is going to be seeing that scoreboard and be feeling, well, you know, I'm going to have to pick up my game to not let Warpaxi run away with it. So we are round 10 coming in, so still, oh sorry, yeah, round 10. We've got 3 more rounds left before we'll be seeing Fish Herpes on the attacking side. Maybe it's where they favor a little bit more. Usually you see attacking a bit more favored for teams that don't have a ton of experience working together, because you can kind of coordinate the pushes a lot easier than the defensive side, where you really have to know how your teammates play, where they set up, and where you could be best used to complement your allies' locations. Molotov goes on down. It's going to be locking off down front. The flash is coming on through, so great little initiation on the side. Warpaxi goes around the side front. 1, 2, and 3. As simple as that, while Wildfire in the background picks up another. Not quite getting the plant down, so they won't get that little bit of extra ultimate utility points, but they will. They don't quite need it too much. Not too sure who was planting it, but they're already quite set on their ultimate usages. Fish Herpes have that 6th player available now, with Ilya now having that resurrection online. Shrimp, it's going to be interesting to see how he utilizes this Yoro's ultimate to be able to try and find their opponents, or if he wants to try and use it to relocate on the map to potentially be on that heavy lurk. And again, Fish Herpes deciding to stack this A site. deciding that they don't want to play outnumbered, and they're just going to hold off and go for the retakes, or the kind of defense on these sides a little bit longer. I quite like this. Wildfire's going to get hit up and it's going to have to retreat with the utility disabled. Unknown Beast is going to be the one that engages Antic Esports first here on this B side. He's going to be held back, which could possibly be the best thing for him at this moment. Wildfire's going to hold him off as the orbital laser burns him down. Sixpack picks up the kill. Wildfire turns around, gets another. He's still cautious behind him, and I think he knows something's up. He does. He tries to get the spray. He doesn't get it. Shrimp picks up the kill, and he's going to get taken down shortly after by Sky.
Last round in the half.
So a good little coordinated play there, blowing up that teleporter play and leaving one there to watch the ants escape from their nest and then burning them alight with that good old magnifying glass. So move into round 12. Fish Herpes once again get that full buy up here. They're starting to pick up their kills and starting to get a little bit better. It took them a few rounds, but they're starting to get into the groove, which is what you want to see. You want to see them to be able to pick up a little bit more and put Antic Esports into a little bit of pressure, a little bit of danger. And Unknown Beast in a very aggressive position, can't find a kill. Shrimp, however, manages to find one. He's going very deep. He's looking. Dimensional Drift, he catches one, but I think he knows he needs to get on out of there. But now he's trapped. He's going to return to a great place, but unfortunately, the Seeker gets him. But the pit saves his life. He turns around, but Sixpack is already there for him. Warpaxy prepared to take a challenge. He gets protected by Sixpack coming from the showers, leaving Touch My Anus to go on down there.
Switching sides.
Now, this is where we start to switch sides, and this is where we can almost see a fresh Fish Herpes. As I mentioned before, fresher teams or teams that aren't as coordinated together are usually better on offense because it's a lot easier to coordinate a push onto sites than it is for protecting a site. You can easily throw down a smoke, get your teammates on site, and you start covering angles where your teammates aren't approaching. Whereas A site, you're really about coordinating the counter push on, or you need to have that communication or in-game leader to really call away your team to go, okay, back off, let's retake it together as a team, and not try and take these 1v1 challenges. So we'll see how well Fish Herpes can roll on this offensive side, and Antic Esports, how much of a challenge they'll put up on this defense here. We had a very aggressive push coming from these, and Wildfire, he's just happy to play this very close angle. Warpaxy, he's going to throw out the grenade. Grenade's going to do a little bit, it's going to push him off that default plant, and it's going to allow a lot of their team to start rotating from behind as he gets one easy kill. We see Sixpack here coming up from behind. Is anyone watching this rotation? No one's watching the lurk. They don't suspect it coming. And Sixpack's going to pick up one. He gets a second. And it's going to leave one last left to find a kill through the smoke and a defuse coming shortly after. So unfortunately, for Fish Herpes, not watching all the angles, including behind them, not suspecting that there was a lurker already on the way, pushing up pretty aggressively, will get taken down and kind of takes out their formation a little bit. Once you break that formation with someone coming up from behind you, all your players kind of start panicking. And that's what we saw there as he made his way onto site and was able to clean up multiple. It looks like Touch My Anus is wanting that knife mid. Antic Esports might just want to clean this up and just continue on their merry way onto the next stage. And we have a yes please here, but will we see a gentleman's agreement where they will all pick up their knives for the good of things? Oh, Omez G says, I am not going to do this. I am playing with my weapon. Fight me. Fight me with your weapon, you cowards. As Wildfire jumps on in with the help of Warpax and they clean up out. The last one standing, and that will be it. That will be 13-1. And that will be our first match going in favor of Antic Esports. So there's not a lot to talk about or really deconstruct there in that match. You all saw it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit one-sided there for Antic Esports. A lot of the players are a bit higher MMR in-game, and they have had more experience working together, which you kind of expect up against teams that really haven't got all that much experience working together and are a little bit lower down on the solo queue rankings. So we will be jumping into our second map now. It will be split. The teams are just swapping sides, so I'm going to be swapping around my overlays before we get in. Bring that to you all. Once again, I do want to thank you all for joining us here tonight on the stream. It is our round of 64. We got round of 32 tomorrow. And then on Friday, we have our round of 16 and then round of 8. So that is a double up. And I will be bringing them all to you across the week. And then on Sunday, not sure. Hopefully I got a grand finals or a or a best of or third place playoff, I hope. Because they are for seeding purposes into your closed qualifying brackets. Let's guess. I was talking too much. I didn't get my overlay set up. There we go. And we have Antic Esports have our 1 point for the series. So we're just waiting now. So we're moving in on split. It will be interesting to see what kind of lineups we see again from Fish Herpes. If we see another unorthodox lineup with a Yoro in it, I hope so. I don't know. I kind of hope Fish Herpes go for a more standard approach and pick up, I guess with their situation, pick up heroes that they're comfortable with. I don't feel like anyone's really comfortable with Yoro. I don't see Yoro in pubs. I don't see Yoro in the meta. I don't see him in professional play in the OCE region. Kind of one of those picks that is, I don't know. You're hoping to style in your opponents, but unfortunately they got styled on there. Whereas Antic's just, ready here. Sorry, one of the players were asking if I was ready, and we are about to jump into the match, which is good. So yeah, once just hope we get those kind of picks that you're comfortable with from Fish Herpes, so then they can really be a little bit more comfortable, because you didn't really see them being comfortable at all. They're kind of trying to be a little unorthodox, where we're seeing the 5 people stack on site because they weren't comfortable in their own 1v1s, whether that be skill wise or because they'd lost quite a few engagements. They wanted to try and stack the numbers to get return frags. It's not a bad thought, especially when you're up against a team that is quite more powerful than you. And well, we are now transitioning into our next map. So here on Split, it is a heavily defended-sided map. It's about 57% win rate for the defense, and we are already starting to see a Sage, which is kind of expected, where it looks like Fish Herpes are going to be... we're seeing some unusual... We got the unusual Yoru again being played on Shrimp. Ilya is looking at picking up that Cypher role, which is a nice pickup, especially for that B-side hold, which is quite familiar for being able to hold that main garage and that rotation's coming on in. But we will be seeing a Sage instead from Ilya, so we'll be picking up that Sage again, which is your standard on Split. This time it's going to be complemented with an Omen and also a Reyna and a Jet to go on top of it. So we have 3 duelists coming out from the side of Fish Herpes, whereas over on the side of Antic Esports, you're seeing more of the common spread. You will be seeing your Sage, which is standard. Your Omen's going to be picking up that smoke and roll. It also enables the utility of the Paranoia to clear out a large amount of sight lines, especially moving into Heaven. And then more of your standard Initiator of Rays being complemented with Sky, and then Cypher to be able to pick up for that defense onto these sites, which we can already see him moving over to B to start protecting B main.
That goes there.
This time we will be seeing Fish Herpes pick up the offense first, so they could start off with a little bit more of a momentum swing. If they can pick up this first round, especially here on Bind, it is crucial, especially as a team we've seen is a little bit underskilled compared to their opponents. It might be just what they need to start securing a few of these rounds, causing Antic Esports to be a little bit out of out of their gameplay elements. It's always the lower skill teams that play the unorthodox strategies, and you haven't always practiced against them. So Sixpack rightfully backs off. He's got his one way there, trying to use that little bit of advantage, and he does get it. Touch by a Noose was trying to counter and have a look back, and Sixpacks gets another. He's just holding this angle, finding kill after kill, as he's now got Scythe coming on in to try and push out. Over in mid though, the wall is up, and Sage was going for a little bit of a peek. Not going to be the case. Trying to go for that right click as they're all doing jumping shots. As Scythe has now made his way to the front lines up here, but he decides he's going to rotate back out as Sixpack is going to rotate back off the A side in case there was a rotation coming around. But we can see that's not going to be the case as there's still 1v1 trying to be fought. Stinky gets hit with that paranoia and just gets taken down. Great paranoia there coming out from Wildfire, allowing his teammates to capitalize and push down into sewers. And they're going to jump on down there. Like, wait a second, they're not down here at A. But unfortunately, there's no knowledge being gained by Fish Herpes. They haven't been able to notice that there's been a free site for them to take because they're playing very defensively. They've lost a few and they're really afraid to get on site and going to be hit. Warpaxi is actually going to get taken down. Ilya unable to deal with that as Unknown Beast runs on past and he gets a shot. They've found themselves too. Unknown Beast still needs to get that spike plant, but he's going to be surrounded here. He hears
10 seconds left.
He hears the opponents behind him. Can he be able to find the kills? Oh, he gets one thing. He gets two. He gets another. Can he pull off it? He fakes it out and almost gets the pentakill. Unknown Beast. He's here to play. Antic Esports must be a little bit worried after that one. After all collapsing onto one lone Omen, the Omen almost takes out your entire team. But that's going to, unfortunately, that's not necessarily where you want your kills to go to. Omen's ultimate from the shadows isn't going to be the round-defining ultimate that you want to pick up. Unlike maybe your Resurrection, giving you an additional person. Even the Reyna's Empress offers a lot more because you can find the kills and trade without really putting yourself in danger with the instant dismiss and heal. So now we will be seeing the initiation onto the B side. Trailblazer is going to get at least the knowledge of 3 because there were projectiles coming from multiple angles there. As now the initiation comes on the right. Shrimp is ready. He's going to get flashed. Great paranoia. Taking them all down at Sky. He can't hold on. But they do finally start to clean up the rest of them. Omez G is going to be looking for the final kill. Gets supported by Wildfire. And they find themselves a second round. Now we move on to round 3. This will be Fish Herpes' chance to shine. After that first round of the pistol round, now they've got some firepower. They'll be going up against a little bit of firepower. It looks like there's some slight armor being picked up on Antic Esports. A little bit worried about losing their weapons and maybe not being able to survive this round there. As now the initiation comes over to the A site. Actually, one thing I wanted to check, is my free cam working? No, it's still bugged. So I reinstalled my Valorant, and my free cam is still broken, which is kind of a pain. Sixpack, he's going to get the spray, he's going to get one, instant trade, and then Ilya starts off with another. It is now a one-man advantage in favor of Fish Herpes here.
Spike planted.
What can Antic Esports do here on the site retake? Warbox, he sees one. He's going to be able to get the spray with the Spectre. He goes to jump, but touched by a noose is going to be able to find that kill. As Omez knows there's one sitting around this corner. He's going to catch him, look in the opposite direction, leaving Unknown Beast and Stinky to be able to deal with this. Paranoia goes on out. They're going to be able to find a kill, but instant turnaround by Stink. Stink's got one left to find. Will he be able to find it? Scythe is going to start looking him down on between the site, and he's got so many angles to deal with. He can't find the kill. Another round almost going in favor of Fish Herpes, but Antic Esports a little bit too strong there. Scythe picking up the first for the round, or first for the match, apologies, and then also getting that defuse on top of it. So it's a little bit difficult there for Fish Herpes. They didn't really have too much utility to be able to use to help support their kind of hold or their pressure on that A site once that plant went down. They allowed Antic Esports to quite easily move on site. There wasn't really many angles that were blocked off. You weren't really forcing your opponents to walk through any smokes into multiple angled positions.
Yes, this should do.
And then in the end, we did see Antic Esports pick up that round. That was mostly because there was not enough utility to support that engagement over at A sites. Sky got a very early flash there, giving the opponents a little bit of a warning that Scythe is ready to fire, ready to take you all out. Takes an engagement and decides, nope, was out of position, was already in that movement phase. It's looking, could have been a little bit disastrous there, because there was a sheriff on Shrimp, and if Shrimp got that shot off, it could have been done and dusted, as simple as that. Now Warpoxy will be the key defender here, coming up in the mid push, and he did see one come on up. Well, he indicates that's the angle he's watching. As Fish Herpes is still kind of rotating a little bit around, they're going to hear that wall pop, allowing them to know that there's a little bit more of opportunity down here in this mid lane if they do decide to take it. But they've got a few rotating down towards the A side, and a lot of sound is now making towards mid. Warpox is going to be able to clear that, thinking about clearing that angle out. Almost gets clipped with the Marshall, and Six-Pack being able to find the kill, and he knows that one more has headed up ramps, and this is where
30 seconds left.
the spike is. So if Ilya loses the spike, it's going to be in a very awkward place and throws out the utility as running down the choke point. But then Stinky gets a kill, instantly refragged. We're just watching everyone die. We don't get to watch anyone do the killing. As now Warpoxy beats around the corner, gets one. He's got the support coming from behind him with Omez, and they will find themselves another. So now round 5, all in favor so far for Antic Esports, as Fish Herpes are trying to hold on here. They're showing glimpses of hope, but they're just unable to capitalize on the rounds where the glimpses to truly shine, to be that diamond in the rough. They're seeking to show us all. Couldn't you, chat? I see your chats. I see some of you all rooting for Fish Herpes to pick up a couple rounds.
Blinded.
And I also see a couple of hashtag antics in there. So now we move on with Yoro and Ilya wanted to take the engagement over to the B side here. But this is one of the issues that they have. They don't have the utility that clears them over into open space. Shrimp hasn't really been using those flashes to get around corners and get for those peaks. He's a little bit worried about engaging or kind of using that utility to find space. When he does, he gets kind of get traded out. And Unknown Beast able to pick up a kill. A Stink is now making his way. Well, they might have seen that up on the wall, but they're just going to decide to leave it alone, as they're going to be meeting Wildfire, and he's Vandal. He's not going to deal with that too much longer. They still have the spike at least, but they are trapped here. You got Omez. He's going to be prepared for this. He gets the corner. He gets the shots. Leaving Unknown Beast. He throws out the paranoia. He tries to sneak away, but they quickly collapse in upon him, and he will fall down into his metal coffin in vents. We are now here into 6 rounds. Antic Esports running through with 5, but it hasn't been as easy as the first match. The first map, well, Fish Herpes, they didn't really put up too many points. They didn't really get too many kills, but here, Unknown Beast, he's putting up a solid fight. He's enabling the rest of his team to try and pick up. He has also potentially been baiting one of his teammates. We're not going to say he's been baiting. He's been using his teammates' lives effectively. And Warpoxy doesn't get the kill, but Shrimp managed to find that opening frag. And this is what they need to get on site. They're going to find themselves a Vandal Stink. Going to be the one you want to put it in. He does have the Empress available if he wants to use it. The push onto site is very hard. Touch my news. Going very deep with this Marshall here, but he's unable to capitalize on his positional advantage. Now Shrimp's going to come up. He's going to run through his dimensional drift. They're going to know where he is. They're going to know he's disappeared behind him.
I'm back.
And you can just see on the map there, they're prepared for this. He gets a beautiful shot to the head. As easy as that, but he can't find the second. A resurrection was used by Omez G, because they were a little bit afraid to lose too much on that round. But Shrimp showing us he does have the skills of the Marshall. We've seen him time and time again use the operator and also use the Marshall in the previous map on Bind. And he's starting to see it here in Fish Herpes. I feel like, oh sorry, in Fish Herpes. Here on Split, Fish Herpes used that a little bit more effectively. And well, Split gives you more capability to use the Marshall effectively because there's a lot larger sight lines. So you can more safely and with a little bit more of an advantage be able to do that. Sky's going to be able to find 2 there. It's going to get hitting them with the Trailblazer. Going to flash, but it's instantly taken out as Raina now comes on in. The Showstopper comes out, gets one on Stink, but no one else is starting to push on here. Unknown Beast gets one down in mid lane. Taking out Wildfire. He's going to instantly back and retreat. So even when Fish Herpes managed to find these kills, they don't find any room on the map as the wall comes on up and shuts them down for that push through mid. Warpax, he's going to come on through and he's going to notice he's been blocked off. Shrimp's hoping for that push up. The walls crash, almost allowing Shrimp to find that kill. Six-Pack's going to get slowed down. There's a lot of slows coming from both sides here, creating danger zone here in the mid lane as the smoke's coming out, but it's not going to be in the position you want it. And now Six-Pack's going to be spamming as we got Omez holding the line so strongly. Still spraying on through. Six-Pack's going to go through, and they end up cleaning.
Take what's useful.
Creating a slaughterhouse down in mid lane. We are now 8th round, 7 in favor of Antic Esports. Fish Herpes still trying to find their first round. Unknown Beast doing all he can at the moment. He's 7 for 7, doing quite well. He's actually 3rd best so far in this map. Maybe not in the kills to death ratio, but in holding his own, he's the 3rd best. Actually, no, Unknown Beast, you're number 1 for holding your own. I'm going to give you that one. As Omez G throws out a quick wall, he is then coming hard and fast, but unfortunately that slow comes down, and then Flash is no longer there for the Reyna. He's going to get taken down as soon as he entered. Now Unknown Beast is trying to get in there, but he leaves himself in a very vulnerable position and gets taken down. Oh yeah, oh, can't find it, sprays through, and Scythe manages to somehow get it on out. And now Omez G didn't really see it, but all the kills just came on fire, holding down. Great utility usage. Wall went up, slowed down the initial push. The slow went down, slowed down the secondary push with the flash, and then was able to hold his own while the rest of his team gave him the support he needed, but he didn't quite need it as he picked up ball. Round 9. Fish Herpes still trying to find a chink in Antic Esports armor. See if they can get on through. See if they can find the opening that they need to put 1 on the scoreboard. They just want that 1. Shrimp might be walking into a Marshall. Oh, beautiful shot. Actually, the operator. Ooh, Six-Pack is still holding it. He's waiting. Anyone else peeks him? Yes, they do. He gets a second. He's still holding. He hasn't seen that Sage crossed yet. Wildfires. Ooh, did he see that gun? Unknown Beast. He's going to pop around, but get instantly taken down by 2. Nice little resurrection coming on the back line. But Ilya gets taken down. Shrimp's all alone. He's got a Marshall. It's not what you want to do up against 3. Pressing you down from the ramps. Why does someone want to Wikipedia race me? Protected squid. I am confused.
Oh, this is a nice.
Absolutely confused why you want to Wikipedia race me. But you're on. So, as we move in, we got a default coming out from Antic Esports. So we haven't really talked about Antic Esports lineups. You've got your default of your Sage looking down the middle, and they've paired that with this time a duelist. A lot of the time you like to, Omens do like to play down in vents to support that Sage towards mid, especially with that paranoia if there's a push coming up and the wall goes down, because they're funneled through a single choke point. And we'll come back to that as Scythe is going to be holding with Omez G as that slow constantly causing issues. For Fish Herpes, they try and get onto site. Warpax either tries to get a boost out, didn't go too well, but enough to push off the Sage, and he will go down. Shrimp unable to find the kill with his little bit of orientation, and then shortly after Ilya will go down. So as I was speaking towards mid, usually you pair it with the Omen is quite effective. You get funneled, you push him down. Or you pair it with a Sky, which also allows you that flexibility. It's a little unusual to see that Cypher being played on that A site. You might see it flex a few of the rounds to catch their opponents off guard if there's any hard pushes, especially with a Jet kind of stopping them to be able to open up the A site and causing chaos. But we will be seeing them kind of practice or use Antic, sorry not Antic, Six-Pack on that A site. He's loving this operator, and this is one of the best spots for him. I think he's going to be going for that engagement. I know, but he pops him out, gets shot instantly, and then Six-Pack goes for another, and he gets it! And then Wildfire, over the other lines, is taking away Six-Pack's kills. Wildfire pops around, gets the 1, gets the double, and he picks up 4 for the round. At
Last
this
round
stage, it
before
just
the
seems to be
switch.
Antic trying to decide who's going to be the hero and who's going to be coming away with the most kills. So now we move into round 12. Fish Herpes is going to be still looking for it. We got ourselves a good little Odin. Odin maybe not as effective on the defense, unless you can somehow get onto site. Hopefully one of your other duelists, because you are running 3 duelists, can create that space for you. Sky's going to hear a lot of noise. He's going to see the 2 currently there. He's going to prepare with flash. He's going to come on in. He gets the flash. He doesn't find the kill. He gets taken out. But Wildfire comes up from behind. He gets the double. And he's still going to be looking for more. And he gets the 3rd. Where Odin on the backside, 6-pack was able to clean up and making sure that it wasn't too far ahead.
Switching sides. Match point.
So now, match point in favor of Antic Esports. This will be their map and match points, I should say. This will allow them to move on to the round of 32, where, as I mentioned at the start, they did previously get to in the last open qualifiers that was on. They made it to round of 32 and got taken out by, I believe it was Direwolves, who made it into the top 8. So it's not too bad. When you know you got taken out by a team that made it into the closed qualifiers, A, you won't see them ever again, at least to get into the closed qualifiers yourself, and B, well, you know that you didn't go down without a fight, because that team you're up against was ridiculously strong. So Unknown Beastie pops around the corner, but not going to be the case. He likes to go for those cheeky little plays where he tries to get into very forward positions, but Antic Esports were playing a very fast-paced site take, and they're not going to fall to it. Touch my moves, going to be taken out there as Wildfire's trying to find the kills with the Classic, and he's unable to land the shots. He shoots all around Shrimp, and Shrimp will find that kill as now 6-pack is coming up from behind, and it finally gets taken out. This could be a good chance for Fish Herpes, and as I say that, Shrimp is alive with 3 HP, and he goes on down.
Attackers win.
So, it was a quick series tonight, my friends. It was a very quick series. Congratulations to Antic Esports being able to make their way and now into the round of 32. They're going to be pretty happy with that. I'm sure they would have liked a little bit more of a challenge so they continue to practice and scrim, get that experience before they have to move into the next round. I don't think our next round has been decided yet. I'm just going to have a quick look at that. That was probably the fastest match of the series. So we're just going to have a quick look. There, where are we? So, we have... I can't actually find them. Where are they? Antic Esports. Okay, so they will be up against a team called Funky Monkeys, which, if I also remember correctly, last open qualifiers they finished in the round of 16. Don't quote me on that. I haven't checked right yet, but I believe they finished in round 16. So they'll be up against a team that's got a lot more competitive spirit to them and a lot more challenge. So it should be interesting for Antic Esports to see how they go throughout this tournament. See if they can beat that round of 32 like they lost to last time. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for Fish Herpes. You put up a valiant effort. Unfortunately, you were a little bit outclassed and outmatched there. Being a team of between silver and gold up against teams that were immortals, it's a little bit stacked against your favor there. It's always going to be the case. I want to thank you all for tuning in, supporting the teams. It means a lot in the Oceanic region, especially since a lot of these teams are starting up, trying to start to make a name for themselves and get into the scene and really enjoy the competitive environment that we're fostering. And also I want to thank you all for joining me. It's great to see you on here. Thank you those that followed. Hope you all have a good evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good one.